Welcome back to the channel, guys. Listen, is this the end for Erik Ten Hag? Time at Manchester United? The pressure is mounting, and the rumors are swirling. Some even suggesting a shocking change that no one saw coming. A club's legend, a fan favorite, and one of United's most lethal finishers in history could be stepping into the dugout. Yep, I'm talking about none other than Ruud van Nistelrooy. Could he be the man to replace Ten Hag and steer United back to glory? Well, let's talk about it. Let's dive into it and see what this is all about, right? And yeah. So, guys, listen, welcome back to My United Central. I'm your boy, Luther. Listen, today we're going to be breaking, we're going to be talking about this news that could shake up basically the club, right? Which is, we know Manchester United is under fire, right? And with the United struggling right now, we're sitting 13th in the Premier League after a disappointing 3-0 loss to Tottenham. Many are wondering if his Ten Hag days are numbered, right? And insiders say the dressing room might actually welcome the new manager. And obviously, then that name that's going around, gaining traction right now is Ruud van Nistelrooy. All right, so we'll break it down why this is happening, what it means for United's future, right? Because we know, okay, Ten Hag did have a chance, right, to see if it can change the direction of the club, but it doesn't look like it's going the way it's supposed to be going, right? Which is, it's kind of sad. I was rooting for him to make it. All right, so let's start with the facts. Manchester United's season so far has been a disaster. You know it, and I know it, right? With only 2 wins in the first 6 games, the team has slipped down to 13th place in the Premier League table. Sunday's 3-0 defeat at home to Tottenham felt like basically like a breaking point, right? Ten Hag's tactics, player selection, and even his relationship with the squad has come into question, right? And we all know the how ruthless this club could be when things go wrong, right? Reports suggest that inside the dressing room, the players are starting to lose faith. While many still respect Ten Hag, others are reportedly questioning his methods, right? Especially after so many poor performances, with key games against Porto coming up and Aston Villa coming up. It's believed that, listen, these are the final games for Ten Hag, right? This could be the final games for Ten Hag because after those 2 games, Porto and Aston Villa, we go into that international break. And this could very well be the time that Ineos, they're going to make that change. Right, people, smash that like if you're coming in, hit that subscribe if you haven't done so already. Thanks for supporting the channel, guys. Listen, yeah, so it is not looking good. Okay, so now we know about the whole Ruud van Nistelrooy, right? The man we all remember. What's going on, United in the bin? EOR, what's happening? Smash that like, buddy. I appreciate you being here. Hit that subscribe if you haven't done so, right? So Ruud van Nistelrooy. Listen, we know Ruud van Nistelrooy, man, our legend. Let's see. Nick Shivers. What's happening, Nick Shivers? Smash that like, buddy. Listen, am I Ten Hag in or out? Listen, Nick. Let me tell you something, man. I've been Ten Hag in all the way, man. Even now, I'm still like hoping that he can pull some kind of miracle. But it looks like it's not looking good, bruv. Right? I think Ten Hag has hit the end of the road here. Like that song. It comes to the end of the road. Right? Yeah, that's how I'm feeling. Okay. Um, I was hoping that Ten Hag would be the one to change the trajectory of this team. I was hoping he's going to bring that Ten Hag type of ball. It's been 3 years and he brought his players in. Yeah, Eeyore, I agree with you, but my man, he brought his players. And listen, the first season, I think he overachieved. Okay, boom, he came in, he made some changes. Bum, we got the trophy after a long time of not getting a trophy, right? Second season, not too good. Okay, I was saying injuries and typical Ten Hag's excuses, right? I was going with them because they did, they made sense. The football wasn't too good when he was saying, "Yeah, I can't really play Ten Hag ball because I don't have my players." Yeah, you know what I mean. So yeah, so second season, crappy, finished eighth, but we got another trophy, right? So again, he's not really performing, but he's performing kind of thing, right? Team playing like crap, but he's giving us trophies. And of course, Man United, we're spoiled, man. We're spoiled. We like to do this at the end of the season, some kind of trophy, man. And we had gone a long time without doing one of these moves, right? And this guy comes in, he gives us two trophies. So I was hoping that, okay, with this new structure coming above him to help him in recruitment, to help him, that way he doesn't have to be the one, identifying players, quote unquote, Anthony, because we know his player identification profile is not good. I was hoping that with Ineos coming in, they're footballing people, they're gonna make footballing decisions. And listen, we had a really good summer transfer, right? We got rid of some players. He was backed, right? He was backed. So right now, yeah, we couldn't get rid of the likes of, say, Casemiro, because based on last season, his legs are gone. Ideally, personally, Rashi is my guy, but I was ready to say, Rashi, pack your bags, buddy. We're done with you because you're not delivering, right? Of course, we would needed to get rid of Ericsson, Maguire. So yeah, there's still some deadwood there, right? But all that's still there. Ten Hag had his players. He had Ajax 2.0 in the house, right? So he got his players. So basically, you would think that we'll be seeing some kind of Ajax type of ball, some kind of good football, but we were not seeing that. In-game management, not good, man. Like, whenever he has a plan, right? He sets his team to go out there, and then if the opposing manager tweaks his system a little bit, boom, we get scored on, right? So again, he hasn't really convinced me when it comes to in-game management kind of thing, right? So again, we get battered, okay? Style of play, we're not seeing that. It got me thinking, like, listen, Maresca came into Chelsea, we're already seeing something different, right? From Chelsea. They're playing some kind of football. You can see that style of play, all right? Ange, came in, he turned Tottenham, they played a different way. We see something, even though, Ange likes to play with his high line, but that's his style, right? Arne Slot coming to Liverpool, again, of course, Arne Slot coming to Liverpool, the Liverpool team was already, come on, Klopp leaving, Liverpool was already set up, good to go. So Liverpool needed to really get a manager kind of fits in philosophy and style like Klopp, and Slot did that. So he kind of slotted it. I know, no pun intended. People smash those likes, right? So Liverpool, you could have said it was kind of easy move, right? Nick, what's going on? You're a Liverpool fan. My brother's United fans, but I've always wanted to see both clubs be at their absolute best properly. Yeah, I agree with you. Competing the title. Yeah, I don't know, Nick, how old you are, but yeah, that's how it used to be back in the days, man. Back in the days, that's why United and Liverpool, hate each other because they're the most, the biggest clubs in the UK, right? They've won the most trophies, kind of thing. So yeah, we don't, and we're pretty close to each other too. You know, so yeah, that beef is there. But Slot came in and slotted nicely. They're playing good football. People smash those likes, and if you haven't subscribed yet, hit that subscribe, please. Thank you so much, guys. Listen. So yeah, um, so ideally, right now, when we played that game against Tottenham, we made Tottenham look like prime Real Madrid, man. Like they ran all over us, right? Sam 4.0, what's going on, Sam? How you doing, man? Messi or Ronaldo? Come on, man. Listen, you see this? You see this badge, buddy? Sam, come on. What kind of question is that? It's always Ronaldo, okay? CR7, he's the guy. Oh, okay, 36. Oh, cool. So, just in time for Liverpool to fall off the cliff at 2050. Yeah, dude. Listen. Yeah, that was something, man. That was something. But Klopp brought you back. Listen, Klopp brought you guys back. He had you playing good football, pressing like Liverpool was cooking, and that's what I'm seeing now with Arsenal. Arsenal now they're cooking, man. Right? So I was hoping for us with Ten Hag, he's gonna get that backing, and then he's gonna give us something, right? Some belief, right? Something where, we could see, okay, Ten Hag needs more time, but it didn't work out, and I see reports that apparently some of the players, even after winning the FA Cup, which nobody expected us to beat Man City, right? But Ten Hag did his thing. He set us up correctly. We came out, we won. All right. Ineos decided to give him more time to back him, right? But it's not working out. And right now we're closer to relegation, than the top half of the table. Yeah. So Nick is saying, yeah, the last 10 years have been great for us. Absolutely. Yeah. You guys, Liverpool, man. Yeah. Listen, I have a lot of my buddies that are Liverpool fans. Listen, whenever, we used to play, it was like, yeah, Liverpool is cooking. Sancho is, yeah. Eeyore, yeah, man, listen. And that's another thing, Eeyore, right? It should ask you was Sancho the problem or my manager was the problem, right? Because Sancho goes to Chelsea in a system that kind of works with what he can do. He starts cooking, So it's one of those things that, listen, Ten Hag, I backed him and all this, but he didn't have that, or he doesn't have that ability of identifying, like, what is the best way to set up the team and the system based on the players that he has, right? So, like, for example, you cannot say Casemiro is terrible, right? Casemiro has won everything, all the trophies in the whatever. But so if you notice Casemiro, for example, his legs are he cannot do the backtracking as much. Then you come up with a system to help him thrive, right? And that's something that Ten Hag really didn't have, right? So, and even now, whenever we play, like yesterday, when was that, Sunday, when we played Tottenham, we know Tottenham is going to come in with the high line, right? You got to set us up in a way that, hey, we can hit him, we can press him. That way we don't get run all over the place, right? So, yeah, it's crazy. Nick is saying first thing Club did was to clear. Yes, that's another thing. First thing was to clear out a ton of players who didn't fit his style, right? And United still have Deadwood. Yeah, we definitely do have Deadwood. But Ineos allowed some of these players to be let go, and we were hoping that if Ten Hag made it, for example, until next summer, more would go, because next summer definitely we're going to see Maguire leave. We're going to see Casemiro still has 2 more years, I think, in his contract, so Casemiro may still stay there unless the Saudi league throws us a bone and say, hey, we'll take him off your hands. But I don't see anybody else taking Casemiro, so Casemiro is going to be there, right? So, and then we're going to see Eriksen leaving. Lindelof is going to be leaving. Rashford still has a contract, so I don't see him leaving. He may be still there, right? Bruno is still going to be there. So yeah, there's still some players that need to go. But again, this coming summer, we're going to see a lot of players leave, right? So again, that could have helped. Like same thing, Arteta at Arsenal, right? when he came on board, the Arsenal board gave him say, hey, you are free to get rid of the players that you didn't want. He got rid of Aubameyang and a whole bunch of other ones, and then now Arsenal, he has his players and they're cooking, right? Sam 4.0 is asking who is better at soccer, Ronaldo or Messi? Come on, man. Come on. Who has 900 plus goals? There you go, man. Listen, the man is still scoring at freaking, how old is Ronaldo now? Is he almost 40? He's still scoring goals, man. Again, hey, I'm going to be Ronaldo all the way, man. Even though here I'm in the US, I cannot wait to go and see Messi with the, play. When they come to one of the stadiums close to me, I'll definitely want to go and see Messi because Messi, come on, man, legend, right? You got to give him respect, So, and this is going to be the first time, especially in the Ballon d'Or, we're not going to have Messi or Ronaldo. That's weird, right? But yeah, those two, yeah, dominated for many, many years, and props to them. Are we going to see any of them, you think, in the next World Cup? We shall see. Andrew Sabrini, what's going on? From London, what's happening? You a Chelsea fan? Whoa, listen, Cole Palmer. Okay, Chelsea fan, I gotta give it to you, man. You guys, that kid, even though he's a red deep down, right? But man, he is fire. He is cold, man. He is cold. Listen. I'm not a Chelsea fan, but I love football. And man, yeah, Chelsea got a gem right there. Yeah, Chelsea are cooking right now. And then that's another thing, man. Maresca just came and took over that team, and look what they're doing, right? Even though Chelsea has 100 players, the gym, they have to take turns to work out at the gym because, they just stacked a whole bunch of players. So people can say, well, Maresca had a choice of how many players he had a huge pool of players that he could choose from, right? I've not been excited since we bought Eden Hazard. Yeah, man, that kid, and you can see like Palmer's basically trajectory. Listen, he could be really, really amazing, man. He could be really amazing, right? He could be really amazing for you guys, and the way he's playing, again, even England, they're going to benefit from him, right? And imagine this is so crazy, right? Man City let that kid go. How much did they sell him? Like what, 40 million? That is nuts. Right now, I can imagine Cole Palmer, because there were some people in the Man United world who were like, yeah, man, Cole Palmer is really deep down in Man United, through and through player. So we should go and try to get him, right? Right now, if you try to go and poach Cole Palmer, what are you going to pay? 100 million? Maybe? Right? It's still going to happen anyway. It's one of those people that are sitting there dreaming because, we're trying to see if we can get another young player to come to Manchester United, right? But yeah, Cole Palmer is cooking. Chelsea, they're cooking. So, and also, that also it brings us back into the whole Manchester United talking that the way if we don't start winning soon, we're falling further and further away from the top four that we're supposed to make sure that we finish top four, because without Champions League next season, disaster. We're going to be hit with FFP and all this stuff. People, smash those likes, guys. Hit that subscribe if you haven't done so. I appreciate you all being here, hanging with your boy. My name is Luther, and this is Man United Central. I appreciate you guys being here, right? So Man United needs to get to top four. So I think that's why now it may be the right time to make this change, even though I wish Ten Hag could get more time. But it's one of those like, okay, even if you give him more time, he could win Porto's game and then win Aston Villa maybe. But the way we performed against Tottenham, that type of performance is within our players, so it can happen again. We get battered again, right? What if we continue losing and we're getting further and further down the pecking, down the table, right? And then next thing, Man United sitting in relegation. Come on, we're close to relegation zone right now. Then top four. That is ridiculous, right? So I think it makes sense for Ineos to make this change, but the problem is I don't want to revisit the whole, listen, I'm one of those people. I know but Ruud van Nistelrooy most likely is going to take over for Ten Hag on interim basis, right? I just don't want us, especially as fans who are Ruud van Nistelrooy's, in the fan club. Ruud van Nistelrooy is our legend. Whenever he's on the field, whenever he's, on the touchline, whatever, people go like Ruud. You know how that is. So I really hope that if he takes over, right, and then he starts, for example, I don't know, for United fans, right? Imagine Ruud van Nistelrooy takes over, and then we go on that run like when Ole took over, and then we were just beating teams left, right, and center, right? So Ruud van Nistelrooy starts cooking, and then we start hearing those rumbles. No, man, we should give him the job full time, right? Because he's getting a tune out of these players because the players respect him and all this stuff. The problem with that is then we can end up the same way it ended with Ole, which I did not like that very much because now we don't want to have another club legend, being, when things are not working out because our players, they're really, ridiculous. They can down tools at any time, right? Our players, I don't know what is going on in that in our club, and that's something I hope Dan Ashworth gets to the bottom of because it's a problem, right? It's a disease is in there going on with the team. I don't know what it is, right? Because now you could say, okay, the performance from Tottenham is something that you would think it would not happen because a lot of those players were like Ten Hag players who started yesterday. I mean, on Sunday, right? So you probably didn't attribute that with the bad habits of back in the days when players used to just give up and down tools, right? And again, so that's a mentality thing. I don't know how you fix that because you're going to bring in another manager. Okay, Ruud van Nistelrooy may take over. We may go on this new manager balance kind of thing. We'll go on for a little bit, right? And then they're going to appoint a permanent manager. I don't know who it's going to be. It better not be Southgate, guys. I don't know, want to hear no Southgate talk, okay? I think if they decide to appoint Southgate, those Ten Hag out, not Ten Hag out, when the Glazers out, not Rice, and people were at Old Trafford, at current, with banners, Ten Hag out, people will be like, from the moment they announce him, they'll be like, Southgate out, man, Southgate out. Because honestly, Southgate has no tactics, nothing that he can offer that team, right? So I hope that those rumors of Southgate are actually just rumors because we don't want Southgate to be a Man United manager, right? People, smash those likes if you haven't done so, guys. Listen, yeah. So whoever is going to come in, if it's Simone Inzaghi, I prefer Inzaghi, honestly. It could be Inzaghi or Nagelsmann, but Nagelsmann is a Germany manager, so again, it's not like he's gonna quit that job and come to us. So if anything, it's gonna be him joining maybe after summer or something like that. Simone Inzaghi is another one who's again decent. He can definitely do the job because you need someone with experience and also being able to handle the juggernaut of Manchester United because the whole world watches each and every move we make, right? Whenever we're not performing, we're playing like crap, people will be writing all everywhere talking about us, right? Whenever and that's how it is. So you need a manager who can handle the pressure, right? Because that job, the pressure is immense, So I don't know. I don't know if Ruud can handle that as well because what I'm hoping that with Ruud being in the system now, he can kind of see where the bad apples are, and maybe he may have some insight on how to kind of fix it. But again, if he's in there now, how come he's not helping Ten Hag fix the problems that he sees right now, right? So I don't know. It's one of those like even if he takes over, we may not see anything that different because he's in there now. He could have started working on these issues now. Say, hey guys, this is unacceptable, right? The way they played against Tottenham, uh, uh, they couldn't pass, make any passes. They couldn't, press the ball. I mean, the team was shambolic on Sunday. I could not believe it. Right, I'm sitting here watching. I was doing a watch along, so I was hanging out with a few of you folks on here. We were like, "What are we watching? Our team is not doing anything." Right? Which was really embarrassing. And we were at home. Basically, Man United, it felt like we are the ones who are actually playing away from home, right? Tottenham felt like they were playing from home, like at home, which is, come on, that is embarrassing, right? That is something that should never happen. But that's what we do, man. Manchester United, we have that ability of making teams, look pretty good because we can be really crappy, right? Because again, tactics and our players just choose not to show up, which is a disgrace because once you put on that jersey, that United jersey, you are representing not only yourself, you're representing the whole Man United family, you are representing the history of the club. So whenever you step on that field, you gotta be able to say, "Listen, I'm gonna leave everything on this field," right? And we didn't see that. And that's what was really frustrating. The players were just like, letting Tottenham run all over them, right? So, it was not a good look, right? And what's his name? Gary Neville said, the performance was disgusting, right? Which is absolutely right. It was disgusting, and there was no cohesion in the team, right? Yeah, and people will say, you know what? Some people were like, yeah, man, if it wasn't for the red card, then maybe we could have been able to do something. Yeah, even without the red card, Man United, we were done, right? We were done, right? So it's one of those. So from this report I was checking out, they were saying, right, reports suggest, this is from the dressing room atmosphere, right? Reports suggest that the dressing room would actually welcome Van Nistelrooy as the next manager if things go south with Ten Hag. All right. And then that's a big, obviously, big, especially for the squad that's been struggling with consistency and confidence this season. Players reportedly appreciate Van Nistelrooy's approachability. That is a big word. They appreciate Van Nistelrooy's approachability, and that's what we were seeing too. I think Van Nistelrooy's man management skills are pretty good because we see him always having conversations. Like even the Tottenham game, we saw him having a conversation with Casemiro. Was it? Yeah, and then in training you see him talking to the players, right? We see him talking to Rashi. It's one of those things that I think one of his. I saw an interview. I think Rio was at Carrington, and then talking to Ruud. Ruud was like, "Yeah, my management style is I want to know." He wants to know more about the player. That way, he can tailor a way to help the player reach that potential. Right. That's why he has a lot of these conversations with the players, like getting to know what makes them tick, what is his lifestyle like, or get that deep into the player. That way you can know, okay, all right, so if I need to bring out the best out of Rashi, I need to approach him this way and that kind of thing. So I think the players, they like that, and that could be one thing that can actually work for him because he is approachable, right? One thing is we saw with Erik Ten Hag is, he's kind of stiff, right? He's one of those that you don't see him high fiving, his players, right? He doesn't show that emotion, right? Other teams, whenever you see like Arteta, when the game is over, like, he gives, hugs and, kiss his players in the head or something, like, you say, good job, like that kind of thing. So players sometimes want that from their manager, right? Whenever you show emotion, players can relate to that because they know that, oh, this guy is he's battling with us on the field. But if you don't show any emotion like that, like the way Ten Hag is, then players can feel like, okay, why am I fighting for this guy, right? And that's something that maybe it could be different. And what Van Nistelrooy brings is that approachability and his understanding also of the club's history and his ability to rotate the squad, right? So again, that could be those are positives, right? Positive that Ruud van Nistelrooy, could be bringing to the team, and it could work in the short term, because I do not trust our players, right? It may work now, right? And then Ruud gets the job, and then next year, and the same thing happens again when the players get tired of Ruud van Nistelrooy. They're down tools again, right? Because honestly, that whole thing, quote unquote, player power, it exists, right? Player power, it does exist because, players know, listen, if we don't feel this manager, we can do something to make sure that he's gone. And that should not happen, right? These players, honestly, they should be they should be scared, knowing that if you step on that field and you don't perform, your position could be in jeopardy. Back in the days when Sir Alex Ferguson used to manage the team, right? I was watching the podcast of it was Rio, Owen Hargreaves, and Joe Bear. I think they were talking about it, and Owen Hargreaves and Rio. They were like, "Yeah, back in our days in the dressing room was full of sharks, right? Sharks meaning that, listen, if you go on that field and you do some silly mistakes or you don't give it your all, then you're gonna get it when we get to the dressing room, because not only the manager will be on your case, it's gonna be your fellow, your fellow players. They'll be like, listen, everybody when they step on the field, when you get a chance to perform, they perform, right? And they knew the weight of that jersey, what it means, and that's something could be what we're missing now with our team is they can't handle one. It could be that they cannot handle the weight of the jersey, because the Man United jersey could be heavy on you, right? So some people, players could probably not handle that tension. Like every little thing you do gets scrutinized on social media and everything. And some of these players are young, so they're constantly on social media, and maybe they cannot handle that, right? They each time they're on the field, they question each of their moves instead of making to play with freedom. They don't have that, right? Because they know, oh, if I make a mistake here, I'm going to get scrutinized, and then I'm going to be, it's not going to be a good look for me, and then they don't play with freedom, and then they end up, stinking up the place, honestly, right? So it could be one of those. So maybe Ruud can kind of help the players say, hey, man, this is what you need to do. Try to perform this way, that way, you can produce, right? Because we're in a result business, especially in our team, right? We need to win matches to get off, the 13th spot, right? So next game coming up is Porto, right? We're playing in Europe. Can we win that game? Listen, I really hope we can, because we cannot afford to get another loss here. All right, it won't make much changes even if we win. Honestly, that's what I'm thinking, right? But of course, we can get that win against Porto. But come Aston Villa, it's going to be very difficult, right? Aston Villa is going to be difficult. So again, I don't know how we're gonna line up in those games. For example, I don't know if Ten Hag is gonna go again, bring in the likes of Bruno Fernandes into the game against Aston Villa, because I was hoping that with Bruno getting that red, I was thinking it's probably a blessing in disguise, right? That way he can actually bench the kid or the guy, right? But now Bruno's red card was overturned. I'm not complaining, okay? Which that was not a red card, so I'm glad he was overturned and he's back. But again, that means now Bruno is going to be available. I was hoping if he sits out, then Ten Hag will be forced to, rotate the team. Maybe play Xerxes as a 10, right? And use Mount as a 10 or something like that, right? But if Bruno's available, Ten Hag is going to play him. You know what I mean? And that's how Ten Hag rolls. he's not going to bench his captain. Whereas we know that, Bruno needed to be benched because he hasn't been performing this whole season. And that's another thing that people were really they were putting on Ten Hag is he had favorites. I mean, people smash those likes if you haven't done so. Hit that subscribe, and I appreciate you guys doing that, right? And that's another thing people are talking about Ten Hag. He has his favorites. Bruno is not performing, but he stays on the field the whole game. Those kind of things, right? And those could have been some of the things that perpetrated to his downfall, right? So I mean, it's one of those like it's very crazy to see how our team is gonna perform when Ruud van Nistelrooy takes over, because we know he's gonna take over, right? To see if automatically the players now they're gonna show up and start performing, because that that will be really crappy, because then it will prove like, hey, they really down tools because they expected they didn't like the manager. Because I saw a report today, like I don't know if it was Chris Wheeler or something. He, after the FA Cup win, he says he interviewed a few players, and some of the players, they were like, yeah, they expected Ten Hag to be sacked, but during that time, some of them were backing the manager, some of them expected him to be sacked. So when they came back after after that Ineos strategic review, and they saw Ten Hag is still the job, they're like, yeah, what's going on here? So I guess some of these players expected, there could be a new manager, but that didn't happen. So now they're like, okay, man, listen, we gotta do whatever we need to do to get this manager permanently sacked. And listen, it looks like they're doing it, and they did it, and it may end up happening. Another manager bites the dust, which is pretty crazy, right? So again, with Ruud van Nistelrooy taking over, I really hope it's definitely Ineos. They're gonna make it as a interim. Don't give him a full time, right? It needs to be like, listen, Ruud, you're gonna take over for this period of time, maybe until the end of the season, or not even maybe until December, and then they bring in a permanent, right, manager to take over, right? So that means Ruud, even if you go on this crazy run, you're not going to take over, because we don't want another legend to go that route of Oli, where when stuff hits the fan, the fans turn on our legend. We don't want that, right? So I hope that's what they end up doing, because it will be the right thing, right? Have him hold on to the job until the end of the season, and then we say, okay, Ruud, thank you very much. Maybe he can stay on as a assistant coach of whoever comes on to take over, right? Which that will be cool, but not permanently. I'm not with Ruud van Nistelrooy taking the job permanently, because first of all, I don't think he has enough experience, right, to take over the Man United job permanently, right? Yes, he has a better CV than what Oli had when Oli took over, but yeah, definitely he's not ready. I don't think he's ready to take that job permanently. In the interim basis, yeah. Permanently, no. Right? So we shall see. This is very interesting. I'm checking. I'm on Twitter. I'm seeing that this is. I'm trying to check if we have any news of some of the names that could potentially take over for Man United. I see breaking here from the Mappeteers. They're saying there are 3 potential long-term candidates for the Manchester United job. Top of that list is Kieran McKenna, Xabi Alonso, Ruben Amorim. Right? Let me know which of those you guys will take. It says from Mappeteers, it's saying Ineos will also assess managers like Simone Inzaghi, Sebastian Honeb, and Andoni Iraola. You guys let me know, who would you like out of those the top 3? McKenna, Xabi Alonso, Ruben Amorim. Listen, Xabi Alonso, first of all, it's a no-brainer. But again, he's a Liverpool fan. I don't. That will be if he takes over the Man United job. Yeah, that will be something. That will be a big coup right there. But he's a damn good coach. I like Amarin as well. McKenna, I don't think he's ready. Kieran McKenna, I don't think he's ready. Right? But if it was McKenna or Southgate, come on, Kieran McKenna, any day for me. You guys let me know who would you rather have, McKenna, Jabi Alonso, Amarin. Let me know. All right. Yeah, McKenna, not yet. He needs more time. More time managing teams in the Premier League before he takes over the juggernaut of Manchester United, right? So I see another report here. This is from Benny McCarthy. He was interviewed in this Dutch TV. He says Benny McCarthy was saying, in modern football, I think footballers want to see a bit more passion in their manager. Yeah, right. Just after what we talked about, they need to feel that the manager is in with them and is ready to fight alongside them. Tactically, I think Erik Ten Hag is at the top, right? But he lacks the bit of that fire, that passion. That's what, according to McCarthy, Ten Hag is lacking. And basically, he continues saying, that's where we are different, him and I. He says, I want to be at his level in terms of tactical mastery, right? I think my biggest strength, this is him talking about himself, he has empathy that he creates with players, right? But when it comes to tactics, Erik Ten Hag is right up there, which could very, very, very well be the fact that Ten Hag, when it comes to tactics, he's really on point, right? Attention to detail and all this stuff. We heard that a lot, right? But the problem is with Ten Hag could be that he doesn't know how to deliver that message to the players and for the players to buy into it, right? So, and that's the problem, right? How do you fix that? I don't know, because you as a manager, your job is to make sure that the players follow what you ask of them, right? And if they're not following, it means they're not getting your message. Your message is being lost somewhere in translation. I don't know if it's the language barrier kind of thing, but I really don't think so. His English is pretty good, right? So even if that was the case, they could have brought in a translator to help him, kind of thing, right? So it's one of those, like, you can be a really good tactician, but you cannot deliver that message to the players. The players don't understand what you're doing. And that could very well be the reason too, because we notice, I don't know if you guys, when you're watching the games, you notice some of the players, like a couple of times you'll see Dalot, like if he loses his marker, and then he'll be like kind of waving, like telling Ten Hag, like, I'm supposed to be here. I'm supposed to be here. Who's supposed to be over there, maybe covering that player or something like that, right? So the players are confused. And if the players are confused and you're in the game, you kind of, keep on thinking, oh, what should I do? Should I keep going? Should I cut back? Should I do this? Those are directions that the manager is giving the players and ending up confusing them, right? And the likes, for example, like we saw one time, I forgot what game it was. Rashford was driving on the left wing, and then instead of cutting in, he kind of stopped and kind of looked back and then kind of played the back pass or something like that, right? Again, that was him obviously in his head thinking, what does the manager want me to do here when I get to this point? And then when you do that, that split second, you end up losing the ball, and and then once the ball gets taken away from you, you're out of position, you get counted on, they score on us, right? So it's one of those that it's very hard for a manager like Ten Hag to fix that, right? Because there's something there that's being missed, and players don't get the message, and we end up losing, right? So yeah, So again, guys, let me know who would you want to be your next manager for us, Man United folks. I know we're in the mud right now. We are like the banter club right now. It used to be Tottenham, it used to be Arsenal. Now it's Man United, man. Everybody's just like, they're going at us, right? Most people want us to keep on failing. Some people like Liverpool fans, Arsenal, they want Southgate, no, they want Ten Hag to stay. That way, when we play them, they can continue battering us, right? So, which, it's not what we want. We need change, and I think change is coming. And it's going to be sad to see Ten Hag go. He did give us two trophies, though. We're going to take that, right? We're going to enjoy that. At least we got something. You know what I mean? So you guys let me know what you guys think. And do you want Ruud van Nistelrooy to take over in an interim basis or full time? What are your suggestions? What should Ineos do? Right? Because at this point, also Ineos, they're kind of in a weird spot too. Because like a couple of weeks ago, was it? They backed him, saying, "Hey, he's our guy. We're working on a project with him." And then now, 6 games in, you are talking about sacking the man. It kind of makes you look like mugs, basically, right? Because you're you back this guy and now you're sacking him, because of the pressure. I don't know, Ineos, what do you do, right? And again, another thing, to sack Ten Hag, it's going to cost them 17.2 million, I think. So you're going to pay Ten Hag off, and then to bring in another manager, right? It's going to cost you maybe like another 10 million or 15 or something like that. That's a lot of money to come up with to change managers. People, smash those likes, hit that subscribe if you haven't done so, guys. Right? So a lot going on Manchester United, guys. I'm gonna always be here to give you the updates and what's going on with our team. Right? Until the next one, guys. I appreciate you guys being here. Thank you so much. Smashing those likes, hit that subscribe. I'll talk to you in the next one. Take care of yourself. Peace.